gift to the earth. New York bagels. Whoa, dude, what the hell? They packed this shit on. Oh my lord. I might have to take some off. Bon appetit. Whoa. Whoa.
Try and impress you.
Yeah, I get taken care of. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never leave a restaurant hungry.
We'd go to dinner and like they would just bring out so much.
Who's awake, Box? Hi. Okay, she's eating. She's eating her wet food. These are crooked, but I just felt like I needed a little bit of a filter. While I was working, I decided to hop on over into my school email and start looking at my financial aid. I think what brought it up was that I was talking to my manager about how my scheduling is gonna change when I start school in late September, and I was telling him that I was gonna go down to 3 days a week, and he had known that, but like it put it on, you know, the front of my mind, and I was like, oh, I need to still do my financial aid counseling for, like, when you take out loans, you have to do counseling to like be fully prepared for what you're signing up for and like how the repayment will go and all those things. Like I've mentioned before, I've never taken out loans, so this is extremely new territory for me, and I am scared out of my mind. I don't come from a family that borrows money, especially from the government. Like, we just have never done that. I'm first generation. This is extremely scary for me. And I feel like I could be doing more for like looking for scholarships. I feel that pressure too, and maybe I will start looking like a lot more aggressively. But I'm just, yeah, every time I just like hate money stuff. It gives me a lot of anxiety, and I have an avoidant attachment style, and that really comes out when money is the topic. Like, I just avoid it at all costs, which is why I had avoided doing that counseling. And doing it, I had to pause in the middle because I was like, oh my god, like what if this is like such a big mistake? What if I shouldn't be doing this? And then I took a breath and I like paused, and then I worked a little bit more, and then I went back to looking at the counseling, and I was like, you know what, like, there are options, there are things I can do, and I have the education and the knowledge right in front of me, you know, on how to go about it the best way possible. I saw my other friend who's in medical school right now. She was like, dude, you just can't even think about it. And I was just like, is that the best way to do it? You know, like, going into therapy, going into psychology, I can't help but think that no, we should actually sit with the discomfort and realize that it is going to be hard, but it's not impossible. And the reason that we're doing this is to help people and to build a career from helping people. I'm not doing this for fun. I'm not doing this, I mean, it'll be fun. I think psychology is fun and interesting, but like, I'm not doing it to just spend the money. I'm doing it to learn and hopefully make a living wage that will allow me to repay my student loans. I'm sure there are people talking about it, that I know there are, and I want to become one of those people that opens up the floor, you know, especially as a first generation Mexican American with parents that have never taken a loan out in their life, let alone gone to college. They've done what they've had to do to like make a living. And for me, I feel like my different path is, instead of working multiple jobs to provide the basic needs for myself and my family, I'd rather spend the money gaining an education that will then lead me to a career that allows me to, you know, provide for mine and my family's basic needs. It's really kind of twisted. It's more of like a longer term investment than a shorter term investment. But we all have to do something, you know, like my parents did immigrate to the US at different points in their lives, and their families had to do that huge risk and investment. And this is my huge risk and investment, you know, and hopefully, I mean, I can't see it not being for the betterment of me and my family's future. You know, even if I don't have children, like for my nieces and for the people who look and identify or relate to me, I feel like that's still my family, that's still the future, that still affects them, you know, because I want to be a therapist who looks like I do, you know, and is a little bit alternative and a little bit queer and brown and a woman, and I want to help all types of people. And oh gosh, wow, you know how it's just so easily you spiral into all these things that I feel like are really connected. You just can't get so caught up in the future tripping. That's what my therapist has taught me about, like, cognitive distortions is one of them, is getting tripped up about the future. Hence, future tripping, the act of spending too much time thinking about future events and outcomes, which can cause distress or anxiety. It can also be referred to as anticipatory anxiety. Once I was introduced to the term, I was like, oh my god, I feel like that's been me for my entire life. Like, I exist in future tripping. And then once, like, I learned the term, it actually took a lot of its power away, because I could name it, I could recognize it, and then kind of file it into a category that is cognitive distortions, which is a thought that causes a person to perceive reality inaccurately due to being exaggerated or irrational. And although a lot of what I'm talking about is rational and real, spending a lot of time in it doesn't do me any service, you know, digging myself deeper in this mindset and then eventually turning into like oh, I shouldn't go to school. I don't know, let's discover this. Like, what would actually be not a helpful thing to do is to second guess going to school. You know, what I could think about is ways in which I could ensure that I am able to repay my loans in the long run. Maybe I do look into, you know, different part-time jobs or different scholarships. 100% should be doing that and will be doing that. That's why we're talking about it now. I could look up repayment, like tuition repayment jobs after I graduate. I could also maybe look into different programs that are cheaper, more affordable. I was also future tripping, and then I was like, let me talk about it on a camera, which is exactly what I'm doing now, and so that helps too. Of course, I try to make every problem like not only a solution but also just a community learning lesson, and that's what I'm doing by talking about it, because if I keep this to myself, I don't learn potentially from the feedback that I'm gonna get from this video. I don't get it out of my mind, and someone watching potentially someone watching also potentially, oh my god, God, why can't I say that word? I need to go back to school. Someone watching also potentially doesn't get to learn. I don't exactly know what I taught in this video, but and I'm gonna go back to work to pay off my student loans. Okay. You want some churro? I'm gonna give you some churro because you deserve it.